Hello and welcome back to my White Christmas tutorial series. It is an annual event that I have been doing for 4 years. Today is the time for the project number 12. This is going to be a snow globe shaker card, which is pretty monochromatic, but it's going to have a lot of depth and lots of interesting textures. So let's get started. I have used the largest die from Nested Rectangles die set, which measures 4¼ by 5½ inches, and I have used the gray cardstock. I'm also going to use a circle die that is 3¼ inches in diameter, and I'm going to die cut a circle window. So I'm centering the die and I'm positioning it a bit closer to the bottom of the panel. I will set the circle aside, and then I'm going to create some brick and wood plank textures on the panel. So I'm masking off about 1/3 of the panel, and I'm applying iced spruce distress oxide ink with the sponge applicator. You can find the list of supplies I'm using in the description and on my blog if you're interested. Then I'm going to use the brick embossing folder by Sizzix, which is one of my all-time favorites. I'm applying some white pigment ink by Hero Arts onto one side of the embossing folder, and then I'm going to place my panel inside. I'm making sure that the inked area is sticking out of the folder, and this way it's not going to be embossed. This is how my brick wall looks like, and now I'm also going to create the wooden table. So I'm going to use another folder by Sizzix, which is wood planks, and also the dark gray pigment ink by Hero Arts, and this time I'm only embossing the inked area. I have sent the folder through the die cutting machine, and this is how it looks like at the moment. The next step is attaching a piece of acetate at the wrong side of the panel, so I'm applying some double-sided tape around the circle window as well as around the perimeter of my piece of acetate, and I'm sticking it down. For my focal image, I'm going to use this sleigh horse frame die by Memory Box. For this project, I'm only going to need the circle element. So I'm going to apply some double-sided tape all around this circle frame, and then I'm going to stick it down. To turn this circle window into the snow globe, I'm going to use the largest die from Snow Globe Bases, also by Memory Box. The specialty cardstock I'm using is Silver Silk by Tonic Studios, and I'm going to both die cut and emboss the snow globe base. Here is what it looks like. I'm going to attach it to the panel with the double-sided tape. You probably know that I love adding frames to my projects, and this time it's no exception. I'm going to use the two largest dies from Nested Rectangles set, and I've die cut 3 frames out of white cardstock. Now I'm going to layer all 3 die cuts using the liquid glue to create more dimension. Sometimes you can attach the frame with a mounting tape, but this one is just too thin to apply any tape. So now I have applied some liquid glue again, and I'm attaching it onto my card. To create a sentiment, I'm also going to use a Memory Box die which says Merry Christmas, but I'm only going to use the word Christmas for this project. So I'm attaching the white die cut on top of the black one, offsetting it a little bit to create a kind of shading effect. Then I'm attaching the sentiment onto the snow globe base, and I'm curving it a little bit so that it repeats the curve of the base. To embellish the card, I'm also going to use this holly branch die, and again I'm using both black and white die cuts, and I'm attaching them one on top of another with the offset. I'll be attaching this branch at the top of my card, right above the snow globe. The liquid adhesive I'm using is Ranger Multimedia Matte that I have added into the needle applicator bottle. Before I create the shaker element, I would like to add one more die cut, and I'm going to use this die by Poppy Stamps. It's a tree hill. I'm placing it right behind the window, and when I'm sure with the placement, I'm going some liquid glue to stick it down. Then I'm going to apply a double layer of mounting tape behind the panel, and now I'm adding my sequins inside. The ones I'm using are white snowflakes by Cat Scrappiness, and I'm also going to use some artificial snow, which is the soft white flakes. Please note that for this project you will only need a tiny pinch of sequins. That will be enough. I have added too much, and that is why I had to make some card surgery, and I actually had to remove this base and place a new one. You can totally avoid it, just don't add too much sequins. And now it's time for the finishing touches. So I'm adding some different sizes half pearls to each of the berries on the branch. And then I'm also going to add some texture to the snow globe itself. I'm using my favorite medium here. It's Glitter Glass Drops by Fabrika Decoru. This medium is just the right thickness to create perfectly shaped drops. The last finishing touch is adding more sequins on top of the panel. They are the same ones that I used for the shaker window. So I'm sticking some of them down onto the brick panel, and then I think it's a good idea to add some of them right on top of the acetate. This way they are going to drop a little shadow onto the background and create more dimension this way. And finally I'm attaching a few more right at the bottom of the card. At this point I have decided that the horse and the sleigh are not standing out enough. So I've die cut one more piece out of black cardstock and I'm attaching it right on top of the existing one. And now I can call my project done. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to check out the previous tutorials of the series. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be seeing you soon for the project number 13.